Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be discussing Scorpio Ascendant. I use sidereal zodiac, which is 23 to 24 degrees behind the Western tropical. Please download if you want to see whether or not you are Scorpio Ascendant, an app called Cosmic Insight. Put your details in and it will produce you a chart which you can then find out what ascendant you are. Your ascendant is the most important thing, really, because people always say, when anybody talks about astrology, they're normally talking about their sun sign. But sun is only one planet, and there are in Vedic astrology we use 9 planets. So, the sun is really about your soul and your father. Okay, let's start with Scorpio Ascendant. Scorpio Ascendant is we always sort of talk about Scorpio as the secretive, intense sign of the zodiac. But you must remember, we all have Scorpio somewhere in our chart. So just because somebody's sun is in Scorpio and yours isn't, doesn't mean that you don't have something Scorpio about you. But some segment of your life, because our lives are divided into 12 segments, one part of your life is ruled by Scorpio. So you want to always bear that in mind. Basically speaking, Scorpio is obviously a dominating sign, and it's secretive sign. And Mars rules first house and the 6th house, Aries. So it just means that they are naturally quite competitive because of Mars being the first lord and also being 6th house. 6th house is competition. So they are actually competitive. They're even competitive with themselves. They naturally do everything in a competitive manner. And also 6th house is house of enemies. So they can actually be their own worst enemy. And because Aries is a sign of impulsiveness, fiery sign, just do things very quickly, it just means that they can create their own injuries and their own debt and their own accidents as well, their own worst enemy, if you like. Scorpio Ascendants is this obviously a water sign, so it's quite emotional, it's fixed, so it just means that it's very difficult for them to change their ways. They're quite set and they're scared of change. And but generally speaking, though, they are, because of obviously Mars ruling their 6th house as well, it means that they're very much into their health, fitness, what they eat, exercise, and things like that. They want to win, though. That is innately in them, that they want to win. And it just means also that they are very, very good about their daily routines, getting themselves organised to get to work, and they are quite service oriented as well, helping other people out as well. And 2nd house and 5th house, 2nd house Sagittarius, 5th house Pisces, they're both ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is very friendly to Mars, so therefore these are really, Jupiter is a really good planet for them, because 2nd house is house of values, family, early education through family, and 5th house is house of education, creativity, good karma from previous life, investments, children. So it just means basically, and Jupiter is planet of happiness. It just means that they are very adoring of their family, and they have a family who is educated, cultured. They could be quite spiritual or quite religious, well-travelled family, and they might also have quite a lot of money as well, because Jupiter naturally is an expansive planet. Obviously it all depends where Jupiter is as well, but also it just means that they get a lot of happiness from their children. They are very generous to their children, in the sense that they like their children, because obviously Pisces is quite generous sign. So they want their children to actually be able to express their emotions, be able to be creative, playful, but also means that they Scorpio Ascendants can be quite good, particularly if Jupiter is very well placed. They can invest money in stocks and shares quite well as well. Or, you know, they're good at, they're quite creative. They have happy children. They all those, you know, and educated as well as House of Education. They could be teachers too. And the third house and fourth house are ruled by Saturn. Saturn and Mars don't really get on very well. They're not very friendly planets to each other. So it just means third house of communication, siblings, short distance travel, things like that. It could be that they are not very communicative with their siblings or neighbours or colleagues, or because obviously Capricorn is quite a dry sign, and it's quite direct, and it's not like if they send their brother or their colleague a text, it'd be very much like, I did that, you find that file there. You know, they're not going to be expansive. Hi, how are you? You know, anything like that. They don't dress anything up. It's very much like to the point, what I would call dry, cold and dry. But to the point, you know, because obviously it's quite a dutiful sign. So they're not very sort of affectionate towards their brothers and sisters, colleagues, neighbours. And yeah, so I would say communication is not the easiest thing for them. Not great at that, and also yeah, quite dry. And but it does get better as you know, after sort of 35, 36, or even after first Saturn return, age 28 to 30, things will improve in that department. And their mother, fourth house and house of happiness, comes through social networks, big groups, being, you know, or even their mum could be part of networks and social groups, large social groups, charitable groups. But mum can be quite fixed on, you know, I can't do that for you now because I have to get to this group and that group, and you know, so it could be quite cold mother as well, a little bit like that. Although they're charitable, they're just not really that sort of Pisces mum, or a Cancer mum, or a Venusian mum, you know, that kind of, a little bit cold, but still, you know, make sure that their child gets a little bit of education, you know, everything is catered for them. Then 7th and 12th house are ruled by Venus, so they are attracted to somebody beautiful because Taurus is their 7th house, and somebody who's quite stable, like and hardworking, somebody who's very family oriented and likes to bring the family together for gatherings and stuff. So they can also have losses through partners as well, or business partners, because Venus also rules Libra, which is their 12th house. So there could be some expenses or losses through partners as well. And they will also enjoy going abroad, far away distances, and that would be great for them. And then we have 8th and 11th house ruled by Mercury, so Gemini, and 11th house will be Virgo. Now 8th house, Gemini, okay, so you have to understand that Mercury and Mars are not very good planets, and Mercury rules their 8th house of transformation, losses, divorce, scandals, sex, all of that kind of stuff. So it could just be that, and also obviously their house, 11th house of networks, groups of friends, things like that. So they can have losses through those sort of groups, because 8th house is losses, 11th house is house of big networks. So they could have some losses through that. So they have to be careful about the groups that they join. And also 11th house is also elder sibling as well. So it could just be that they have some, they just not, either don't have an elder sibling, or they don't get on very well through elder sibling, or just basically had losses through elder sibling as well. So Mercury is not the greatest planet for them, and also because Gemini is their third natural sign of zodiac, which is about communication. Communication and opening up is just quite difficult for, and just being expressive is quite difficult for Scorpio Ascendant. They just literally, that is karmically, once they tap into their throat chakra, they do much better. I really do recommend to try and actually join a choir or sing when you're at home on your own. Just literally belt it out. Just get your throat chakra to open. It's a really good thing for you, you know. Moon rules their ninth house of Cancer. So ninth house is house of happiness, great things, you know, great karma from your previous life, and what makes you happy. Anywhere Cancer is in your chart makes you happy. So, you know, they could have quite a lot of joy with their dad. Their dad could just be an inspirational person to them. Their education, but also obviously Cancer is very up and down because it's ruled by the moon, so it's up and down. So their education, obviously they can be quite educated, but it could have had breaks in that as well, and one minute they wanted to do this, next minute they didn't. But generally speaking, traveling, culture and all of those kind of things make them really happy, and their dad. And the classics, you know, culture is good for them, makes them happy. And 10th house is Leo, ruled by the sun, and it's a fixed sign as well. So it just means that they could have a very solid career. And because it's ruled by the sun, so they could be a leader, they could be a teacher, they could be doctors, but whatever they are, they're quite respected in their field, because obviously Leo is sign of the king, and it's they probably are quite the leaders at work, actually, particularly if the sun is well placed, because they just literally will shine at work and be very, very well respected. And I think that just about kind of covers Scorpio Ascendant. And I just wanted to say that the planets that are really good for this Ascendant is obviously Jupiter, second and fifth house, both has some money, children, family, values, family values, your values, and then also Moon and the Sun are really great planets for you as well. And also Venus is not too bad. Seventh house is one of the what do you call it, angular signs, so it's good, but you've got to be just careful about losses there. With relationships and also partnerships, and so there aren't that many, but they just got to be careful that they're not their own worst enemy. Become more expressive, literally things to do with Saturn, which is happiness, will come through good communications and choosing good friends. That's it. I look forward to seeing you soon. And I just wanted to just say one more thing as well. If you're using the sidereal zodiac, 320 to 16 degrees 40 of Scorpio, it's a really nice part of Scorpio, because it's on the nakshatra, or a fixed star called Anuradha. So these people will be fantastic loyal friends as well, and great mediators too. That's it really. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.